Yeah, like I know I just shut the stream down, but for one, I had something to do that was rather immediate, and for two, I had to and I'm restarting it because it's like it's bothering my brain. Like I have to figure out a way to do chained small batteries. And like I have a wipe going too, and I know I'm probably gonna end up like getting raided or whatever, but I mean, the thing about that is just because you rush back to the wipe, you rush back to the game, it doesn't mean that you're not gonna get raided anyway. Like the sooner that you come back, like is basically the sooner that you find out if you've been raided or not. Is really how that works. Like coming back sooner does not necessarily mean that you're going to either be able to stop the raid, or coming back sooner doesn't, increases the chances that you haven't gotten raided. Power splitter 5. So this one's charging. And this one is fighting whether or not it's charging or not. It's not sure if it's charging or not. Like, are these doing the same thing? Like, it says that it's red. How would it be red? I mean, like, why would it be red and green? Why wouldn't it be green and green? Which that doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't want to mess with this one, but I wanted to see, like, yeah, this one is charging and discharging at the same time too. So what that means is, I'm pretty sure if I have a blocker in front of each battery, and again, that's the whole point of the testing stream. If I have a blocker hooked up to each battery, that means that I'm going to have a branch that powers all of these blockers. A branch for every blocker coming off of the main power. And this is even before the root combiners. So you have to have a blocker before the root combiners. Because I'm pretty sure that it shouldn't be putting power to this blocker. But it's going to anyway. Okay, so it's going to put power to whatever component you put it to, even if it is a blocker. Which I'm assuming unless you turn the blocker on. Which, where do I want to put this thing here? And this I'm going to get rid of. So that's the main input from the batteries. So I guess if I do it up here. I mean, the easiest way to do it would be to hook a splitter up to it, but I mean, I want the exact amount of power, so let's do 4 branches. But like I said, before I came over here and tried to do this, all of this to just use a bunch of small batteries instead of using a medium battery is insane. Like, it's over-engineered, I guess, just for the sake of testing. And this isn't even the chained in series test. This is just the test to see if hooking it up to the combiner and using blockers to do that is worth doing that. So what is the problem here is there's not enough power coming out. So, holy crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I guess 18. Could turn them all on. Yeah. So now that it's blocked, nice, okay. So this way, like over here, I should have the same thing set up over here from each battery to stop it from charging and discharging at the same time. Because like, they're not supposed to be able to do that. So that means that they're flip-flopping back and forth faster than like the output is telling us. That's why these aren't fully charged, because the root combiner eats power, which, yeah. But hooking a blocker up makes it work, so now it's fully, it should be fully charged. Unless I screwed something, I think I screwed something up. Charge left, 0, active usage, 0. I mean, it's getting power. Why is it not charging? Is it not charging because there's no output hooked up to it? Which, that's weird. Like, and I ran out of space. And there's the other problem. Because it's a blocker, you can't hook it up to the root combiner. Excellent. I mean, I know why they did it that way is because this would allow for so much like short circuiting and screwing stuff up, allowing any component besides like a power source to be combined into a root combiner. So then it's like, what do you do? Like, the only thing that combines power is a freaking root combiner. And you can't go from a blocker to a root combiner because it's a blocker and it's a root combiner. It doesn't count as a power source. So no, I was right in saying before that these shouldn't consume power when there's no output. Because it's still outputting, like, even though there's like no power coming from here, like, yeah, it's still outputting power to the root combiners. So it's still got the 40 coming out of here. But that's why it doesn't sit at just 50. Why it fluctuates on like a... Yeah, see? It should just be sitting just at 50. But it's not. Crap. So the only way to get it to be fully charged, and that's even further strange, is this should be getting charged, but it's not. Oh wait, no, I see, it's capacity, so it is fully charged. So this is working, to charge it, because the blocker does count as a complete zero output. But you can't recombine it because the blockers don't go to the root combiner. Crap. But I guess this is just gonna have to be good enough. Is like it charges well enough, but it is still consuming like a fractional amount of power. Like it's going on and off and on and off and on and off and on and off and on and off because of the way that the root combiners are eating 1 power each. Which that would be fixed if the root combiners didn't consume any power. And I'm not sure if I should say that that's an oversight or not. I can't think. There might be a good reason why they don't want to have root combiners consume 0 power. I mean, not sure if that's an oversight or if there's a good reason for it, but I mean, this works well enough to be like 99.999% effective. But I was going off of the batteries. Yeah. So now the next issue is like, I guess since there's no alternative, like you can't hook a blocker between a battery and the root combiner. And I guess it works well enough to where it still charges everything, so okay. So now the next thing would be trying to but that means if you wanted something to go into series, you have to have your combined batteries combined before the blocker. So it would be so nice to be able to put these switches on the floor too, because then you could just do a circuit board on the floor. And since you can't put the batteries up there on the wall, which I mean, it makes sense, you can't just stick a battery to a wall, but to have them separated and then have to like try to build next to the corner, and then your alternative is to have like wires snaking off the wall to the battery, like so I'm thinking about it all a little bit too hard, I think. Like if I just did it instead of thinking about it. So this is the basic system that switches between charging the batteries and then discharging the batteries. And that works. So the thing that I have to add before this is I want to try to get the small batteries to discharge in series, but charge all at the same time. The charge all at the same time is easy because you don't have to change anything for that. You just connect the batteries to the existing charger. The discharge in series is a little tough because like if your system requires 2 batteries worth of crap and you have to do 2 battery cells, like if you want to run everything off of 20, then you have to use 2 batteries, or if you have to run everything off of 40. But so it's not really an issue so much as it just threw me that the root combiners are causing it to discharge and charge at the same time. It was like, And I didn't notice that it was doing that before, so I thought that that was going to make it so it wasn't going to work at all, but I guess it's not that big of a deal. As far as I can tell, like, it might be, but I don't think that it is, like. But in the case where you're forced to use only small batteries, like freaking having cells of small batteries that discharge in series, I mean, that's way better than, you know, being forced to use a medium battery. I mean, the medium battery and the large battery, that makes this problem go completely away to where you shouldn't have to even worry about it. But like, you know, but you're just overkilling the system. So if I use an XOR gate and a blocker, when the first cell that powers the blocker for all of the other ones is off, and so that's the thing that I have to think about is, do I have to power all of the blockers in series, or can one module control the blockers for everything else? And I think the way that I have to do it is I have to have an electrical branch hooked up to every one of the blockers in a chain, and then like you end up having too many components. And again, this is not a how-to video, this is a testing video. This is me figuring stuff out as I'm figuring it out. Like, but if you want like a how-to portion, I mean, if you just look at all of the connections here, I mean, that's not even really a good how-to thing. But this is all that you need for a battery system. Because as soon as this goes off, the OR gate powers the lights or the pumps or whatever you're trying to pump. Yeah, get that chicken, Bear. Good. Alright, so having a brain fart. I guess if I do 4 batteries, which way is blue again? Right, so I want it to be that way, so if I do 4 batteries, and then do the root combiners, and then do the blocker after the root combiners because you have to, because you can't do it before, because you can't hook the blocker up to the thing. And I would do only 2, except with as many components as I've got everything running through, with the root combiners eating stuff also. Oh no, I think I'll just do 2. Well, I mean, no, I still need to put 40 through the whole thing, so this is going to be 1 cell. That's going to go to an XOR switch. I think that's an OR switch and an XOR switch. And then I need a duplicate of that. think I just noticed something about batteries. Like, I guess a fresh battery only comes with 20 charge on it, which, well, it's good to know. So, crap. I think that's the problem that's going to make it so this doesn't work. This branch is going to be the main power slash splitter slash... Oh yeah, I would need a blocker to block that. So where's the main power from that thing going to the blocker? I mean, if I wanted to incorporate it into this, I would have to do that. Because without a blocker after the root combiner, that electrical branch is just going to eat power the whole time. That's going to mess the whole thing up, so no. And since I do plan on hooking it up to this thing, take the charger, put another branch over here. No, I don't think this is going to work because since you're going to have to use the root combiner, and the root combiner eats power, even just sitting there. Well, that isn't necessarily true because so long as you have it being charged more than is being consumed, then that should work. And the output from that has to go to a second blocker, which the second blocker is already over there, so. But yeah, this is what you would have to do to get chain discharge small batteries versus using a medium battery. So is it effective? Oh no. No, not even close. Is it worth doing? Not really. It's just easier to farm the scrap or whatever and learn a medium battery or a large battery. Then why am I doing it? Just to see if I can make it work. Derp, 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 derpy herp, derpity derp. Derp, derp, derp. Derp, derpity derp. So now, when this one runs out of power, it should cause this one to switch over to the second battery. Because it's the same thing as this, only switching the input with batteries instead. So these are probably all dead. Yeah. I see a problem here. And this is what I was talking about, is like, do you have to do it all up front? And I think I have to chain it both all up front to have that blocker that's on the main power also block this one. Crap. Because if this one isn't on, then it's not going to block that one. Damn it. So I think that means that I need a second blocker hooked up to this. Yeah, and this one has to have that blocker that's hooked up to that. Because that's just going to be on the whole time. And see, I need a blocker between the branch because the branch is going to eat power, but since we're going to have to overkill it, crap. No, I don't think I need this. Because that blocker already exists in the system over there. And then the other part of it is, since they're dead, that's going to affect the whole thing too, so. Okay, good, they're both dead. So, what that means is, this is still going to try to discharge the power. But what I'm hoping is that gets handled by this blocker over here by connecting it to that blocker. So when this runs out of power, which it might not because once I start charging it, which sucks, but when this runs out of power, this blocker gets turned off. Because it has no power. And then the OR gate between battery cell 1 and battery cell 2 will switch from putting it from A into B and continue powering the system. So I've got 8, so I need two more splitters to get it to 8. Hold on. So Yeah, this, like I said, this is intentional overkill. So I need another 3. So that splits it between these 2, and these 2 split it between these 3. And then I just leave the last one off on each branch of the branches. I think I screwed that up too. Yeah, I did. When your team's electrician tries to explain something to you, like, I don't know. I'm gonna go shoot some stuff. Yeah, have fun with that. Like, yeah, so what's happening now? I don't think I've got enough input going to everything. I mean, just for the sake of testing, let me set this at 100. Because I think the splitter, the power is getting split too far. I got that connected to the wrong thing. No, it's connected to the right thing. I just had it balanced improperly. Okay, so the whole system right now is set up to power like one light. So we got 32, and then this should be 16 or 15, because each one eats one. Oh, and that's the other part of that too, is you got to connect each one of these. That's why it's inconsistent. Each one of these has to be connected to each other battery. And like, I know that, I just screwed it up. So it wasn't getting split evenly. Oh, good. Nope, it was right before. And the blocker has to go. The blocker has to go here. And I do need that second branch. I mean, it'd be nice if I could do it a little cleaner than that, but... So now it should be charging. Yes! I mean, it's barely charging because I don't really have a lot of power going into it. But like I said, I mean, the more components that you add, the more power it consumes. But it is working. So if I shut this off, does this have charge? I mean, it's only got 10 seconds worth of freaking charge. This one's got 5 minutes. Well, I mean, that's pretty good for the test. So if I turn this off, like it's nighttime now, it is receiving power. It's receiving only the 34 power. Oh, the problem is that is discharging. Well, oh no, it did work. It's coming from B. The thing that I'm wondering is, rather than chain a bunch of solar panels together, because I know that the solar panels will work. Is there a generator? The test generator? Yeah. Like, I know the solar panels will work. There's a plug on this thing. Oh, it's on the top. Oh, yeah. So I don't know how much power is it getting. Only, what does this output? 100, I think. So now I should have some indicator of when I turn that off. It's now only receiving power from A, which it should do so for another minute or so. But no, it works. You just have to overkill the power input a little bit, which is doable with, you know, more solar panels. But no, you can totally have the entire bank of batteries be evenly charged with whatever excess power you have. And then you can do cells of small batteries or even cells of larger batteries. But I mean, again, the easiest solution is just to use a medium or a large battery, but if you had to do it this way, this is how you would do it. And it happened right there. It's like, it discharged this cell, which turns the branch power off of this because it has no power, which turns off the blocker, which enables these batteries to power the OR gate. And since there's no power coming from A, it uses B. And then B goes to the main power cell. So, yeah. And just like the same switch that happens with the solar panels, because if you ignore that this is a test thing, and you just have as many solar panels as you need. So it's daytime now. Since it's daytime, it turns that blocker off, which means it's only being powered from the power input, and all of the excess power is being channeled through the splitters evenly into your bank of 8 batteries and charging all 8 batteries. And the advantage of this, the whole reason to do this, is to get a sustained 40-ish output, or what, like a 37 something output, but you can add more batteries to each bank. The problem that this solves is if you have 8 small batteries all chained together with root combiners, they're all going to discharge at the same time. But what this makes it do is it discharges this module first, and then when this runs out, it can't power the blocker anymore, so then it extends your time. In so many words, it extends your time, is what this does. And it is possible. And the thing that makes it work is this blocker that's powered by the same blocker that powers the that makes this main OR gate decide whether it's being ran from the batteries or not. Because without this, it would try to run the OR gate the whole time, and the batteries wouldn't charge. And because it's modular, you can have more than just the 2. You can repeat this whole thing and make another bank of 8 batteries and 3 combiners. But the difference is you put a branch here that goes to another OR gate that goes to the B input. So you can just chain that modularly to have as many banks of batteries as you need. But again, as far as the game goes, you totally don't need to do that. That's totally freaking overkill. It's over-engineered to the max to just avoid using medium batteries. Like, if you're in a spot where, like, you need power, trying to do all of this, and then finally getting a medium battery or a large battery is like, womp womp. Like, so I'm not saying that you have to do that, like, but can you do that? Oh, yes, you can. So it's charging all 8 batteries. And then it's nighttime. And it makes me so freaking happy. And now it's outputting, what, 36? No, it's pretty good. And this one out here is what would power your lights. It's at 30. No, it totally works. And then the other part of this too is you can do the same thing with medium or large batteries also. Like, if you're getting rated, I mean, this is somewhat useful. Like, but at the same time, if you're getting rated, it's usually over in a few minutes anyway, whether you're online or not. Like, it's decided pretty quickly. But in the event that, you know, you're getting raided and they want to take all your power out and they shoot out your stuff and you only have the one large battery hooked up because you can only have one large battery hooked up, and you want it to be automatic to go through and discharge the large battery and then discharge the next large battery and then discharge the next large battery and still have your power and have your turrets and everything. This is the way that you would do that. The easy solution to do that is to just have manual switches hooked up to OR gates and blockers. But I mean, with the blockers, you may as well just have it automatic, because this looks crazy complicated, but it isn't really. I mean, I know that's crazy to say that after going through that, but like, since I've figured it out, what works, it works. I mean, you don't have to have manual switches to turn your batteries on. You don't have to like disconnect one, and that would be the easiest solution to avoid having to know how to do any of this. The easiest solution would be to just manually disconnect one battery and plug in the other battery. Your turrets might be down for like a second, but you know, that's the easiest in-game solution. But if you're in the middle of fighting, you can't really be messing with with batteries and stuff, like. And if you do have a dedicated electrician, I mean, they should be shooting stuff too. I mean, just be out there freaking putting bullets at somebody, like. But it works. I mean, any second now, that green light on the right side should switch from A to B. Any second now. I mean, if I start checking it, it's probably going to switch while I'm checking it. We still got 3 minutes anyway. 3 minutes across the whole bank. But no, it works. And it's all automatic. It goes right from cascade discharge, supplying an even amount of power based on however much batteries you have in each module, to auto charge if the power gets cut, or if it goes to be nighttime, if you're using solar panels. And you can have as many banks of small batteries as you want. You just have to repeat this whole process, and instead of hooking the second bank, the last bank, into the B node, you just hook the B into the A of the... Yeah, people are gonna understand that. Just hook the B into the A of the second bank of the... Yeah. But again, this is not a how-to video. This is just a testing to see if it's possible, but this is how you do it. I'm ecstatic. I'm so excited. Battery bank A and battery bank B. Nope, I did it. I'm happy. Gonna go actually play the game now, so. Derpy derp derp derpy derp derp derpy derp derp. Alright, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'm clicking the button right now.